This is our last meeting of CES 2023, and it is in the Hyte suite here at the Venetian. They have some new add-ons to their Hyte Y60. They have a brand new Hyte Y40, as well as some cool new desk pads and software to control it all. So let's go take a look. BPS Custom's coverage of CES 2023 is powered by Thermaltake and their new Series 500 cases. Available in black or snow options, Thermaltake gives you the power of airflow and performance with 4 included ARGB fans and massive radiator support. There's also option for an LCD side panel upgrade that displays system info, weather, time, and more. Check out these stylish new Series 500 TG cases available January 4th, and thank you to Thermaltake for making this video possible. So if you guys are familiar with the Y60, it's Hyte's release that came out last year and has proven to be very popular among system builders. It obviously has that really cool fish tank look, but if you look at the one on the left here, you notice that there is something different. This is the Y60 LCD DIY upgrade kit, and you purchase it for $120. Awesome. It's going to be $120, and it's going to come with an HDMI cable for connection to the GPU around back, as well as a power hookup for your power supply. Now, it's controlled through new software that Hyte is developing that we're going to take a look at in a second, but essentially it functions as a secondary display, and you can put all kinds of widgets and backgrounds and basically whatever you want onto the corner of your Y60. I actually thought this was a really cool innovation, but that corner, even though it looks pretty cool, didn't really do anything or serve any real function on the Y60, and now it actually does with this entire side being a screen. But that's not the only thing that Hyte has introduced for the Y60. They also have a brand new distro plate, as you can see on this black case over here. People find it really interesting, and as a result, I can't film it because there's a face in the way. So this is the Hyte Y60 Distro system, and it's going to be a little pricey at $300. But it does come with a D5 pump. Right now, they actually have it equipped with a DDC, but it's going to come with a D5, and it fits in right at the corner of the Y60. And what it allows you to do is basically run all of your GPU and CPU cooling lines directly horizontally out to the distro, and it makes for a really cool look inside of the case. And again, it does make the front corner actually into something that is functional rather than just aesthetic. Hyte's also introducing new fittings, and they have a mechanism inside for retention that are very similar to shark bite fittings. They actually use these kinds of fittings on systems that iBuyPower was selling a few years ago, and it proved to be really popular and a really convenient way to connect your tubing. Essentially what you do is just insert it, and the teeth in there will keep the tube in place, and then when you want to release, you just press down on the collar and pull the tube out. These are going to be sold in a 6-pack for $60, coming when? Q1. And then we have the Y40. This is Hyte's new case in kind of the same design language as we saw the Y60. Now, this is more your kind of standard size ATX chassis, and it's going to come in red, in white, and in black. Now, you still see that it has a wraparound glass front, except now there's no chamfered corner on it. Again, it is more the same size as most standard ATX cases, but it does have a couple of really cool and interesting features. Stacy is going to show us how the side panel comes off. It's completely toolless, and it just pops right off with little pins. And the interior layout is, again, kind of similar to the Y60 with the vertical graphics card mount being required. They have built in a little bit extra room here towards the front with 4 slots available for airflow for your graphics card, especially important considering that GPUs are getting thicker by the generation. We're going to move over to the white case to check out how the backside of the motherboard tray is configured. And again, fairly standard here, but there are a couple of features that Hyte has built in. Specifically down here, the Y40 is going to come with a fan installed for vertical airflow. And in addition, you see there are cable routing channels along the back and front edge. Now, this is specifically to make sure that any cables you have down here for your power supply don't necessarily interfere with the operation of your fan, and also just to tidy things up a bit. The majority of the airflow in the Y40 is supposed to come from this back wall, and the entire rear section is ventilated to allow for intake. As opposed to on the Y60, where the floor is actually where the majority of the intake is coming from, the Y40 has basically a solid floor with the exception of a couple of slots at the front. But the aesthetic here is certainly very interesting, and I think I like the direction that they're going with this. There's not a lot of cases on the market that look like the Y60 and the Y40, and I think as long as Hyte keeps iterating and using their space for other things, like we saw with the LCD side panel and with the distro plate, that sky's the limit for this kind of design language, because you don't see very many cases on the market that look quite like this. Hyte's also introducing a new Nexus software, and now this is going to be an RGB control hub, but it's also going to do a lot more than that. Essentially, what the Nexus software is doing here is it is seeing what is on the screen and also then replicating it in this large RGB surround that they have going on here. It's also hooked in to their new canvas desk mat with the RGB edge. So anytime anything is changed on the screen, that means that the edge color is going to change as well. And you can see that the colors here coordinate with the colors on the edge of the screen. Now, Hyte is actually hoping that it's going to be used with other RGB hardware, not just their own brand, but for now, they're targeting the canvas, which is their new desk mat, as well as some new RGB fans that are in the PC over there, and this keyboard, which should be coming out pretty soon. But this is a widget-based software that also works with the LCD side panel that we saw on the Y60. So you could take this software and then move it over to that secondary display, and it can show you system information, the time, GIFs, anything you really want to see. But you can see that it does monitor all of your system stats, and it does not require a login. You can use this as a guest. Special thank you to Hyte for showing us around their booth, and also special thank you to Thermaltake for sponsoring our CES 2023 content. Make sure you check them out at the link down below in the video description. Also, sound off in the comments about anything that you guys might have seen here. Are you into the side panel upgrade for the Y60? Let me know. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we will see you next year.